So what you see there, what I'm filming there, are opioids. These are opioids, Percocet. The only reason I'm bringing this up now is due to the fact that there seems to be a big commotion here in Alberta and BC and other places about the opioid crisis. That there's a big lawsuit going on. I am a user, obviously, that prescribed to me. They've been prescribed to me for the last 3-4 years now. And I use them, I rely on them, and I depend on them. And I think they're getting a bad name through other people. Other people that have been prescribed to them, but abuse them on their own accord. It's not like the opioid companies force these people to be addicted to them, and whatnot. It was their own choice to get these pills. Sorry, I just woke up. I don't do scripts. I don't write scripts. I prefer to do this off the cuff to show people their feeling and everything and whatnot. So anyway, these pills are prescribed to people. It's up to the people to not get addicted to them. They are a narcotic. That should be, when they are prescribed, that should be totally on level, that these are a narcotic. They are not the cause of people's stupidity. It's the people's stupidity that causes them to be addicted to them. I have myself been a drug dealer for so many years, a drug user for so many years. I take responsibility in my actions and in my past addictions, as these people should take their own addictions and whatnot to their own responsibility. It is not the company's fault that these people got addicted. They made a prescription for people to take away their pain. It does. It's not the company's fault or the corporation's fault that these people decided I feel a little sore, I'm going to pop a pill. The instructions are read on it quite clearly. You take one every so often and that's it. Other people abuse it because they feel a little bit of pain and they abuse it. And I think that's totally wrong. I take them because I suffer from massive abuse from being in the Alberta child welfare system, where they abused me, they starved me, they covered it up, they treated me like worse than an animal. And from their actions, I depend on these painkillers in order to get up, in order to have a life, in order to do whatever. But I don't think it's right, and I think it's bad juju that these people who fucked up aren't taking responsibility for their own addictions and instead are pushing it off on the companies. The companies made these drugs. It's up to the doctor and it's up to the person to understand that these are a narcotic, plain and simple. These little bad boys, if abused, will be just like crack, heroin, and everything else. It is up to the user not to use them and not to abuse them. Years ago, everybody was taking them, and now everybody's sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm addicted. The company has to pay me millions for my addiction." That's not right. You took them freely. You abused them freely. Nobody else should take responsibility for your actions, as I've been told throughout my life. And it's funny that now I'm taking my responsibility for my past mistakes, i.e. being a drug dealer, being a criminal, being a dumbass. And now I'm trying to fix my life. I'm trying to get on with my life. And I had to deal with my health concerns. And one of the reasons that I'm able to deal with my health concerns are these Percocets, opioids. I realize I have 20 plus years of drug usage and whatnot. So it just might be me, but I hope not. I'm smart enough to know that these little bad boys are addictive. I'm smart enough to know the dark road, that if you get addicted, the dark road you're going to have to go down. Now, how do you not get addicted to them? Number one, you have to understand the cause and effect of these. One of the main things that people don't understand about these is that heat will exuberate and accelerate the effects of these pills. It's one of the reasons I wake up in the morning, I take a hot shower, I take it. When I wake up, I brush my teeth, I take this, poop, I take it. I'm not taking it now because I have scheduled times when I take them. So I take one, pop, I'll jump in the shower, take a nice hot shower, clean up, and by the time I get out of the shower, I fully know that these will be kicked in effect or will be in effect really quick. As I said, heat tends to exuberate and accelerate. If you don't realize that, you will end up like Whitney Houston in her tub. And I guarantee you that's what happened. Whitney Houston probably took a couple of these, jumped into a tub, smoked a little fucking whatever, and took a nice hot bath. And that thus exuberated the fucking effects and drowned. And that's one of the reasons I have a tough time going out during summer and whatnot, because I do realize on hot days, I tend to cut down on my usage of them and I use it other ways. Are there ways you can get off these bad boys? Yes, there are ways you can get off these. There's also ways you can lengthen the effects out. One of the ways is just to smoke pot. See, my usual dosage is I take one, pop, I jump in the shower. In the morning, I go downstairs, I'll have my Coke because I don't drink coffee, but coffee, a hot coffee or hot tea would also exaggerate and make the effects come quicker. So I stay away from fucking any hot fucking whatever. So when I wake up, I take a shower, I go downstairs, I relax, and I wait. I do not smoke a joint, do a wake and bake when I get out of the shower because I know the effects of this will be hitting me. So I wait 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes to an hour to 45 minutes before I smoke that joint. Because I fully know that weed will strengthen and kind of add to the high itself, to the effects and whatnot. So I realize that. I don't know if other people realize that. I know my doctor didn't realize that. So, like I said, these aren't the issue. It's the people using them that are the issue. And it's just a political issue where everybody can jump on and try to get brownie points. And I'm speaking about the politicians, the city councilors, and everybody else that's getting involved in this. To get off them, it's quite simple. Just don't take them. Go to a Tylenol 3. Go to Advil and smoke weed. Go to edibles. Go to whatever. These pills are not the effects. There should be no opioid crisis because it's not a crisis. Unless you call stupidity and laziness a crisis. It is, I do not speak for fucking corporations and whatnot. I tend to avoid them, but for once, I find that opioids are being wrongly accused, and I know a little bit something about that. I don't know what else to tell you. You have to, heat affects them. So you have to take that in mind. I use a pillar system. I take 3 times a day. And that's usually when I wake up, in or around noon. Depends what time I wake up. So anywhere is about 3 to 6 in the afternoon, I'll take another one. And then anywhere is from 9 at midnight before I go to bed, I'll take another one. Because how I'm only able to stick to that is because I smoke pot. Because I know pot will stick onto it and stretch it out or exuberate the high and whatnot. And that's how it's done. And yes, I have done these in jail. So people can't say, well, blah, blah, blah. These things have been in or around my life, my whole entire life, ever since all the arthritis from my prior abuse has come back to bite me in the ass. If it wasn't for these opioids, I wouldn't even have a normal life. And I'm grateful for these pills, and I'm grateful for the effects. But I know in the back of my mind that the addictions are there. I know I've been down that dark path of addictions and whatnot because of my past experience. Not only with myself, but I've seen it in other members. My brother died of a pill overdose because he got addicted to pain medications too. And he refused to smoke pot and whatnot because, I don't know, that was back in the day. But if you are doing these opioids and you are fucking thinking that you are getting fucking, or don't want to get addicted to them, or are addicted to them and you want to get off them and trim them down, I'd smoke pot real quick. And if you need some information about what kind of pot, because different kind of pots will, you have a hybrid, you have sativa, and you have indica. They all kind of add to the same, but the different kind of effects with opioids when they mix are different kind of highs and lows kind of thing. You know what I'm trying to say? A hybrid, which is supposed to give you a nice fucking whatever, will kind of give you a different reaction as an indica or a sativa. Edibles too will also react with these because, like a pill, you have to wait for the effects. And usually the effects of an edible is a body stone, which will, I'm not going to say may, which will definitely exuberate the effects of the opioids. I might be a nobody, but this nobody knows a lot more about drugs than a lot of other people do. As I said, I have 20 years experience with drugs, drug usage, drug addiction, and whatnot. And it shouldn't be all these people that were stupid and got addicted to these because they became dependent on them. And then all of a sudden, because they felt an ache, it was an excuse to drop 1 or 2 of these opioids kind of things. I don't think the corporation or everybody should be piling on to the opioids because it is the people that were prescribed the opioids. It was their free will that got addicted. It was their free will that they ignored all the signs. It was them that dropped the ball. It wasn't the company. The company came out with this and they put it out there, and it was other people that went off and decided to fucking get addicted. And now, instead of taking responsibility and taking ownership of their own stupidity, they're shifting the blame to these corporations. And I don't think that's right. The only crisis we have here is a stupidity crisis and an attention crisis, and nobody willing to take responsibility for their actions. So they just pawn it off onto this pharmacy corporation. If you need any help with any information about addictions or whatnot, you can always hit me up, and I will always give you the straight up answer about drugs, because I've been there, and I don't know how many times it drives me nuts to see people getting addicted and whatnot, and then they sit there and, you know, oh, I don't know how to get off this or whatnot, or they go to a rehab, and mind you, all this drug rehab, it's a business now. They don't care. They want you to fucking fall off the bandwagon and whatever, because every time you come back, it's like jail. Every time you come back, they make money off your ass. So why would they want somebody, a criminal, to stop doing crime? Because if all these criminals stop doing crimes, jails would be closed. It's the same philosophy with fucking addicts. If they've cured all the addicts, then fucking they'd be out of fucking money. And all the fucking, everybody that depends on addicts would be screwed out of money. So what's today, instead of concentrating on real addictive drugs that do real damage, crack, meth, heroin, because it's a white collar drug that middle class people use, all of a sudden it's a crisis. But yet, poor people on the street are dying left, right, and center from fentanyl, from drugs being cut with fentanyl, and whatever, carfentanil, heroin being addictive, crack being cut with fucking fentanyl and all this other shit. All this shit's going on, but instead of taking those resources, we're wasting our times with a pill. With a pill and people that should take responsibility and ownership of their own problems.